Welcome. Let's have a look at dynamic tool calling. Let's define API for dynamic tool calling. Let me rename it dynamic. Let's define the function. Here I use one random number generator tool and another reverse string tool. So let me define two record data types for it. Random number generator tool will not accept any input, so I'll define no input type, and reverse string tool will accept, of course, as string argument. I'll define it as text payload. Now let's define random number generator tool. We use function tool callback. Let me accept the coding suggestion. Will not specify output type. Let me remove name from here. Let me pass it to the builder. Then define the lambda function. What needs to be done here? Will specify no input type. Remove name argument. We don't need this. We don't need this function as well. Run. Let's test the API by hitting it. So we are sending the query generate a random number. The generated random number is 59. Let me hit the API with one more query. Generate random number for me and also tell me what Spring AI is spelled backwards. Let's see what we get the response. The random number generated is 49 and Spring AI spelled backwards is IA. I cannot read this. This completes tool calling. Let me go through the code once again. Let's look at how it works. Create a function toolback at the runtime using builder and define a lambda to implement the functionality and give a description. Specify the input type, register the tools here and invoke the LLM. If you don't want to pollute the Spring context with beans, you can use this dynamic tool calling. Let's look at some common issues we may face when implementing tool calling. Issue may be tool not found error. So if we have not registered the beans properly, maybe you might not have registered the tool or tool with wrong name. So LLM ignores the tool and just guesses. And it's good idea to log some messages when tool is invoked so that we can trace the function calls during the debug. So finally, let's have a look at what we have covered till now in tool calling. Static tools, and which is defined via bean and the description, and then Pojo tools, creating an instance of it and passing it to tools method. Dynamic tools, tools defined within the method and passed to the tool callbacks function. In the next lesson, let's have a look at chat memory, in which we try to keep the history or context and send to the model and get the relevant response. We'll see you there.